All right, friends, it is oils for every age is our topic this morning. And I have some very cool things because I have family members in many stages of these lives, I feel like I've had some personal experience about all of the 6 stages we're going to talk about. And um, yeah, some little stories I think that you'll find interesting before we actually fully get into it and begin, and people are still kind of signing on and jumping on anyway. But I'm going to share my screen and show you guys why you would want to communicate the fact that you are here and interacting. So if you are listening live onto the Zoom right now, you'll want to take a look at this participants button that appears when you tap your screen. And when you tap on participants, it'll give you the option to chat. Um, and you can send your replies or about questions that I ask to you here during the live event. And if you're not able to watch this live and you're only watching the recording, don't worry, we have an option for you too. In the chat, and also when you go into YouTube, you will be able, actually, I should show you this too. All right, so I hadn't planned on this, but it's the right thing to do. But I'm going to show you guys how to get to, if you guys go to my YouTube channel, which is just Amanda Dumas. Oh, is it not going to let me do it because I have this thing here? Hang on. Okay, yeah, I just had to move my thing aside. Okay, so say for example, you want to see one of the videos that I did, we can, oh, actually playlist is the better one. So if you do the Enamored with Nature webinars, this will take you to all the recent ones that I've done here. Actually, I probably need to clear some of these out. Some of these are probably better than others. All right, but so let's do some more. Sorry, see, this is why you should have it planned out about which one you're doing. I don't know which one I have. Well, let me go back. Okay, yeah, I didn't really mean to play that one. That one's like, you guys see how young I look in that one? It's from years ago. Well, no, I mean, not that many years ago. Okay, I'm not doing a very good job of showing you this. I'm almost feeling like I need to stop the recording. All right. Okay, this one, nutrition and supplements. Sorry, this is the one from one of the previous weeks. And when you bring this up on your phone, if you're getting the links from your phone, you're going to want to either hit either they have the down arrow, they'll have like a down arrow right next to the title. Or if you're on the desktop, you can hit the one that says show more. So either this little, triangle downward arrow or the show more, and that will show you the Google Drive for the handout, as well as the Google form that you'll be using to be able to let people know that you watched it, right? That's how you interact. So it'll bring you to this one for the ones that we're doing for oils for every age. And you'll just click in and do all your answers here and submit it. And then I get to look at it later. And you guys probably already know, right? Do you know why you want to interact? You show me you interact because we like to reward people who are taking time and learning and investing in their own lives. And so we like to give free diffuser to somebody who's going to go through all 8 sessions of our really awesome wellness education series. So these are the topics we've already done. I have oils now, what, nutrition and supplements, toxin-free living. And so today we're doing the oils for every age, or oils for young and old. You guys can see the rest of the things that we have are very, I don't know, I think they're appropriate for pretty much, every pretty much everyone. I mean, we're avoiding things like pregnancy and pets and things like that. If you do want info about that, you can let me know in one of the Google forms that you want other information, and we can probably provide it for you. But these are some really great, just basic oil education classes that will help you get that diffuser. So if you do have other questions and they don't have something in the Google form, feel free to email me at enamoredwithnature.com. You can also connect through the Enamored with Nature Oil Education Facebook group. That looks like this. And if you're not a member of that, you actually don't have to have an account to be able to enjoy getting the info here. So you could add a friend or two if you like. The one that's for our essential oil place, you do have to have your own account. It's specifically for people who already have, and are familiar with using their own account. Um, you guys may not know yet. Some of you might be getting a text from me or from Michelle or Marcella or somebody about when to jump on to the Zoom calls or the educational pieces. If you don't have your own way to get that and you'd like to be involved, you're just gonna take out your phone and text the number 81010, and you're gonna do at the lovely V if you are local to Orlando, or Far and Loved, the at symbol in Far and Loved, if you're not in the Central Florida area where you would be able to come to a live event when we start doing those more often as we used to. And if you're already on Android, do know that there are ways to change whether you get the email notification. Maybe you want the link for your Zoom education class sent to your sent to email so you can watch on your desktop, or maybe you just like it texted to you so you can click in real easy there. So there's ways to change that for you guys if you need that. Okay, so it's now time to jump into our actual topic for today, and that is oils for every age. So your first question number one, you guys get ready when you're watching live, you chat right into the Zoom chat, and if not, you'll just click into that Google form and leave your answers there. So question number one is, which of the 6 stages that I'm about to show you do you need the most support in right now? Oh, let me click over. There we go. Okay, so the first section would be infants to age 2. We have pregnancy, we have school age kids, adolescents, adult, and the glory years. Do you guys love how they say that, the glory years? Okay, so those are your 6. Make sure you go ahead and type in the chat or put it on the Google form which of these you're most interested that you want the most support in. Infants, or all the way to age 2. Pregnancy would be choice number 2. School age kids is number 3. Adolescence is number 4. And then we have adult and the glory years. Okay, so go ahead and type those in the chat. It may indicate for me how much time I should spend on a certain one today for the people who attend live. That's one of the extra benefits, is you do get to ask questions or type some ask for extra things in the comments. So we do have, I think, a pretty good time when we're all doing that kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys continue chatting while I let you know that doTERRA essential oils are the most tested, most trusted essential oils on the market. That is actually bar none. And you'll also, you'll probably hear me talk about in other educational videos about the fact that there's a lot of hospitals and doctors that are really looking into using essential oils as a supplemental care. And when they do that, it's just the doTERRA stuff, because we have that whole most tested, most trusted reputation that we're upholding, right, about pursuing the purity. All right, so we go to great lengths to make sure they're not only the safest, but also the wisest choice of natural health care for your family. If you guys want to know more information about that whole CPTG rating that seems to be coming up a lot, you guys are going to go to the sourcetoyou.com website. It's really very informative. Like, just go when you have like a good 20 minutes though, because once you start like getting into like figuring out like what like your code on the bottom of the bottle and being able to kind of like, oh my goodness. And then this is for this exact bottle, not one from like from this year's harvest, which is how the majority of other companies will do it. They'll get certified, but only for like, once a year. Whereas doTERRA does every single individual batch. And yeah, just it's like this whole 9-step process. And then within those 9 steps, there's over 38 tests that are done. And the majority of them are in-house with doTERRA laboratories, but there's certified third-party ones that also do it too. Anyway, I just got off on a tangent. Sorry, guys. Okay, let me go back and try to keep myself on topic by looking at the handout here. All right, so infants to age 2. We have to point out a couple little things. So the On Guard Touch, there are a couple little touch things, and those are great. That just means that the On Guard has been diluted to the ideal amount. When we're talking about dilution, and I'll show you guys a chart in just a minute. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you now. Well, hang on. So every essential oil is very powerful, very, very potent. And so many times we need less than 1 drop. Like 1 drop would be too much of a dose in certain cases. And so for the especially young and the more older, or people who have sensitive skin, we always like to dilute. But it turns out even, regular people who could have a normal dose of a drop of essential oil, we should dilute many times as well, partly because there's less flash off when we use a carrier oil that's a little heavier. It helps it stay on our skin instead of just escaping into the air as a volatile organic compound. But also, if you have a specific like ache or pain or a reason that you need an essential oil to be helping you in one spot specifically, instead of just being nourishing your entire body, you want that carrier oil because it helps it stay in your tissue better. Now for kiddos, for the babies, like what you see here, let me show you the different dilution ratios that we'll use. We try to keep it kind of simple. I hope this gives you a pretty good idea. Now, if they're babies, then it may even be something like just 1 to 2 drops of essential oil, and the whole rest of the bottle of the 10 ml would be filled with fractionated coconut oil. And it just increases a little bit as you go up. In general, I go, and for my family, I do mostly around the 1 to 3 ratio. Now, if you're doing some things and getting the touch, then most of them you would consider would be around 1/3. But it turns out that individual properties of some of these are specific. Like lavender would have a different touch dilution level, which would be the ideal for the least amount of flash off with the most amount of effectiveness. So you'll find several of the touch line, and here we have just the On Guard Touch, and this is a swipe to the feet to support a healthy immune system for babes. Tamer is the kids collection for tummy issues. This has things like a softer version of peppermint, which is spearmint, and other things that are great for digestion. And you'll find this is very, very helpful. We've had a lot of success with this in our house. The unscented lotion, this is here because many of us forget that when we're looking at things like the name brand, lavender body wash and lotion and things like that for kids, they're not using pure oils in there, nor are they using a high quality lotion. And when you look at all the parabens and junk that keeps that layer on top of baby's skin, instead of letting it sink down into those pores and get into the bloodstream, we don't want the off-brand kind of lotions, because they carry a lot of other junk. And also they create a barrier between having the essential oil absorb into the skin. So if you're giving a little squirt of something and adding a drop of, say, lavender or something like that to do like a nighttime little massage for baby, that essential oil, if you're using an off brand, isn't actually going into the skin. It's staying on top of the skin where it may smell great, but it's not going to be quite as much benefit as if you have it the other way. So I do suggest people to not only consider the fractionated coconut oil, but also the lotion. That's so, so good. And diffusing is always an amazing way to get the oils into the respiratory system, into the lungs, into the body, right? Because the alveoli will we'll distribute that throughout the body once it comes in, and the diffuser has a really good vibration rate to be able to kind of get that where it needs to go without a large particulate size that would irritate our throats or anything like that. Okay, so that was one. I probably took a little too much time with that. I'll try to move through some of these a little faster. Actually, I meant to double check in the chat to see what some people were saying. The golden years, adolescent, quarter years, golden years. Okay, so all right. Now that does give me a little bit more info about where to spend my time. I'm going to peruse over pregnancy. Again, we have options if you guys need to know more about this. I do have to give a huge shout out to Terrazyme though, guys. This helps also for glory years and adolescents, and in my case, my school age kids and things like that too. Digestion is huge, and we don't usually have enough digestive enzymes, especially as we start to age. Over about 40-ish, our bodies produce fewer metabolic enzymes, and so it's not only for this. Here we're talking about breast milk, but what I'm talking about is just being able to get the full absorption of all the benefits that especially if you're eating organic, you're going to want to have that Terrazyme with you, at your meals to be able to get the full benefit as it breaks down better in your body and it becomes more absorbable. Hey, we need a question, right? So question number 2, go ahead and listen up, guys. Question number 2 here is copaiba, which I'll tell you about how to say that correctly in a minute. Have you tried copaiba? And if so, how have you tried it? There's several different ways. Obviously, we do the internal, which is my most common way. I like to take it with 2 drops under my tongue in the morning and 2 drops in the evening. I really like the help with aches and pains. I did find it to be very helpful during my lactating years. It does help boost lactation. Don't worry, it's not going to do anything if you're not actually lactating already. I found it to be very calming to me. Just helped me feel a lot more settled, just less anxiety and things like that. So I love that. My husband even says it helps him sleep better. He also says that when he remembers to take it at night, that he wakes up feeling a little less achy in the morning. There's lots of reasons that we love copaiba. By the way, copaiba is sourced from Brazil, and I call it copaiba because I hear that there is the Brazilians say it like that it's like arriba, arriba, copaiba. And this is how I have the I don't know, I guess habit of respecting cultures to say copaiba, but it's also not wrong if you say copaiba. Copaiba often sounds a little bit more of the American or accepted European pronunciation, and either way, both of us are going to know, or all of us are going to know what you mean if you're talking about it. All right, I am seeing that some people have used it internally. Gina says that combining it with deep blue on your arm, that's a really good one. I love that one. Topical and internal, not keen on the flavor, but like the results. Yeah, I actually feel like the flavor is less mild than some of the other oils. Like if you've ever like tried to do lavender under your tongue, ooh, I don't, that's not enjoyable. Okay, so and oh, also there is copaiba in the soft gel form. If you guys really don't like the flavor, like Melissa had shared, you can also do it and take it in the soft gels. There's 2 drops within the soft gel as well. Um, all right, so yeah, so topical, and I do sometimes put this in my kids' diffuser along with a couple other things for nighttime kind of stuff, so we can use it that way as well. So make sure you put that in for your question. Basil and fennel are the 2 that they're recommending for healthy milk supply, and they caution us against using peppermint because it can decrease milk supply for some ladies. All right, moving on. School age kids, we have the PB Assist here and PB Assist Junior, which let me tell you guys, I actually really like this as well. It's totally just like a pixie stick and it has some very, um, I don't know, it has some really obvious results. Like I feel like you can definitely see some aid in digestion when you take this. And if you're interested in getting extra, I feel like it's like a YouTube video. I think it's about 6 minutes long, about PB Assist Junior from when it very first came out a couple of years ago that doTERRA introduced it. And it talks exactly about like how it compares to yogurt, which is super sugary, and how it compares to like other refrigerated probiotics, because there's this special like encapsulation process where each individual little bead has this awesome ability to protect those live billions of cells, you know, the units of this and that. So do consider that, and like it's like a legit probiotic for kiddos. So don't forget about that one if you guys are thinking about doing something. The chewables here, my kids go crazy for it. We call the stick vitamins and circle vitamins. Again, these would actually have a little smiley vitamin, a smiley printed on them. Um, they're very easy to get my kiddos to take. And the IQ Omega, which has the omega oils as well as some of the essential oils mixed in, is actually really like not noticeable when you're doing it in like smoothie form and things like that. I'll even put it into oatmeal sometimes. My kids really like don't even notice it, especially if I have a little extra sugar or cinnamon in there. And I just, you know, I know I do have friends of mine who give it the IQ Mega oil by the spoon or by the syringe or something like that. I haven't gotten the habit of doing that. I'm one of those more sneaky moms who puts it in stuff. Um, On guard beadlets. This is actually a really fun one. In fact, we're going to make it our question number 3. So here's question number 3 for you guys. Have you ever tried the On Guard beadlets? If you want to substitute that and tell me if you've ever tried the peppermint beadlets, that would be okay as well. And if so, are you a popper or a swallower? Because some people don't love the spiciness from when you kind of like roll it around on the top of your mouth. You kind of like roll it and then eventually the little itty bitty casing will kind of like soften, and you can feel it kind of like burst right there in the middle of your mouth. I suggest not to do it towards the tip of your tongue. It feels really burning up there. But if you can keep it like towards the middle, it's really not bad, and it makes this nice little coating of your throat, I think anyway. But I do know some people who give these to their kids as a way of getting, you know, less than a drop into their bodies on a regular basis, say before they go to school or whatever. And because it is so, I mean, it's smaller than a Tic Tac. It's so small that it's very easy for kiddos to take. I'm seeing Marie mentions, I don't like the taste, but they are easy to swallow. And yeah, very good. Thanks, guys. All right, and kids collection. We talked already about the touch rollers, and of course, all of the things from the kids collection are similar in that they are specially diluted for least amount of flash off with most amount of effectiveness. And these particular choices, say like this one here that's called Stronger, would be kind of like the alternative to On Guard, which we saw up here for the On Guard touch for the babies. And what's interesting is instead of just having it more diluted, they actually choose totally different essential oils. For example, the really strong thing for antiviral in the On Guard is clove. Well, with a couple other things too, uh, but the Stronger version actually has rose, which is an amazing antiviral, and is much more expensive than clove. But it's really, really great, and it smells amazing too. So the Stronger is a really great one to have in your arsenal. And if you've ever done anything like Deep Blue, like for kids' aches and pains or growth spurts or things like that, the Deep Blue has a lot of peppermint. And so when you switch it to do the rescuer here, which I actually made a little video of not too long ago with my kiddo, you guys can check it out on the YouTube channel. And I was just like a little 3-minute video of him going to get his rescuer. So yeah, so those are really, really awesome. I'm actually just remembering that I forgot to show you all one of the other things from the babies collection. This I think was really interesting. I don't know why it wasn't included, but doTERRA does actually have a baby lotion and a diaper cream, which some people actually like to use this as a sunscreen. It has a lot of the zinc oxide in it, but it's the non-nanoparticles. So if you're someone who does your research and looks into that kind of stuff that you're smearing on your skin, this is fantastic and is very unlike most of the diaper creams that you typically buy. And then there's a little body wash there too. Okay, let me go back to adolescents, which is, well, okay, I might as well keep you on that one, right? So the other thing that reminds me is adolescents tend to start to get a little stinky. And so if you guys are gonna need a little extra help with those, doTERRA does have some really great deodorants. And I would say for the price, and for like the level of ingredients, I really, really like it. Now, if you are using, if you ever have kind of like a little bit of breakout under the arm, usually it's just the baking soda that kind of causes a little bit of sensitivity. So you would instead choose the sensitive deodorant, which doesn't have the baking soda. Both of them I think are very effective. I really like the smell of the Douglas fir and Greek orange one, so I probably tend to go more with that one than the others. But in any case, definitely keep that in the back of your mind. I've also had very good success recommending this to friends and family about this HD Clear skincare. You don't have to get the entire system if you don't want. You can just get the one for spot treatments, which is in the roller bottle here. But the other two things just really do maximize. And like when you see how far this stretches, like I know sometimes people use that there's like a little subscription thing that's kind of more common these days that people get sent to them every single month. And this definitely gives better, or like better results, I would say, and it's really a lot less money, and you're putting a lot less junk on skin as well. I also I love to talk about lifelong vitality during this time when we're looking at adolescence, because this is where you start to kind of see kids not necessarily wanting to make healthy choices in their eating habits. They're wanting to go more for the fun stuff like the pizza and the carbs and things like that don't have as much nutrient value. But they're also becoming a lot more active with sports and things like that. So having these supplements of the lifelong vitality, what we call LLV, becomes super important. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about how to get those on the cheap a little bit later. And if you're really interested and you haven't yet watched class number 2 about nutrition and supplements to get all the info, you'll want to go back and find that one. Diffusing is also a really great kind of sort of sneaky way to get the, what would we call it? To get the support for your kids, your adolescents' emotional well-being without making them upset that you're like, how come you're always thinking I have to have some oils on? And you think I'm this angry kid, don't you? So like you can avoid that by just diffusing near them. That's really great. Um, Clary Calm is something that you're probably going to want to buy several of, especially if you have a teenage girl. But you know what, guys? I seriously, I don't know what I would do without Clary Calm. And I just heard another story. Probably, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, my friend Natalia came back and told me, and she's actually a mom who's had 6 babies. So she's not in the adolescent realm. I also have stories from Heather about going through the change as well. So anyway, so this Claricom I find to be very supportive of all things like, hormone, women health related. It's really surprising what this little bottle can do. Highly, highly recommend it. It does come in the non-touch but roller bottle. Okay, that means that you may even be able to open up the roller bottle and pipette some out into another thing and dilute it from there, because it is only the pure oils as it comes right now. So Clary Calm, Natalia was telling me, helped her get rid of some of her night sweats, which she had pegged as being related to hormone fluctuations. And she said she would just, for several months in a row during certain times of the month, she would wake up just drenched, having to change her shirt because she was shivering cold, only during certain times of the month. And so because it only came during those certain times, she figured it was hormone related. So she started putting the Clary Calm, or maybe it was just Clary Sage, but she started putting that on the inside of her ankles. I think she said 1 week before she started having symptoms. Started, like, if she's tracking before she would have had those night sweat symptoms, she started putting it on. And she has been 1 month very successful with minimal night sweats, and she's getting close to the time. She said she'll keep me updated about how it continues to go. But so I just feel like we should say, like, this is not a medication, but it's really amazing what your body can do to kind of balance things out when you give it what it needs. And that's how these essential oils work, is they are just super supportive of all the systems that we're kind of like needing extra support in. So I hope that might be a good thing for you guys too. I see that Debbie is asking where the best place is to apply Clary Calm. Most people will just do it on the lower abdomen, like under the belly button kind of area. That's where a lot of our feminine organs rest. So it seems like kind of a no-brainer place. I do know that Heather used to put hers on the back of her neck when she was dealing with some of her, sweating issues and things like that related to making transitions in her life. And but also the inside of the ankles is where a lot of the, like reflexology tells us to put things that are related to our feminine organs. All right. Oh, and I'm seeing Melissa put something about her kids loving the HD Clear. Thanks for that. Yeah, Debbie says Clear Cup would be for that change. Yes. Good. Thank you guys for your comments. I appreciate y'all adding in a little extra fun. Okay, I'm going to go on. Oh, I also thought to mention here in the adolescent years, my son really, really liked the Deep Blue Rub. So I feel like I kind of can't go on without saying the Deep Blue Rub is great for, especially kids who are in athletics and things like that, or just, going and doing different things with their bodies, bowling accidents, things like that. So don't forget about that. Okay, so here we are in the adult years, and this one's fantastic. I really do, again, like you're gonna see, here's Lifelong Vitality supplements, and again, go back and watch episode 2 to get all the info about this. I can't talk enough about it. I feel like it's very, very beneficial for so many people. Terrazyme appears here again, which I already kind of talked about before, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that slide as well. Hopefully you guys will watched the first part of the video. Oh, by the way, here is your code word, okay? If you're filling out your Google form, you're gonna need a code word. That code word today is empowered. Right, empowered is your code word, so you can write that on your Google form. Okay, and then over here, we're taking a look at lemon. Many people like to add a couple of drops of this to your water. We use it for a bunch of things. Of course, there's an internal, there's a topical, there's the There's the, aromatic uses. And go ahead and start writing for me if you guys would. Question number 4 for you guys is, what do you like to drink in your water? So which essential oil do you like to add to your water? We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a minute. I tend to probably at least once or twice a day. I use essential oils in my water. I hope you guys will start doing that too. There's many benefits to it. If you guys are more curious about that kind of thing, you can take a look. Just Google limonene and see what the benefits are of having more limonene in your body. We also find it helps us hydrate better, because it's helpful for kind of opening up those cells. The oily cell membrane, the essential oils actually can open that up so they can hydrate faster compared to if you're just drinking regular water. And we also like, let me go back and share this. We also like that because it tastes so good, which you guys go ahead and keep telling me some comments, right? uh, because it tastes so good, it also helps us to drink more. Like, my kids and my husband and things like that, who don't necessarily have the, you know, willpower to make sure that they're drinking, a gallon a day or something like that. They're able to intake more. All right, and for the aromatic benefits, there really is something to be able to have an uplifting environment that doesn't have the toxic fragrances. Now, last week, for week 3, we talked about that whole like toxin-free living and what kinds of things are happening to our body when we don't uh, be careful about the chemicals that are on our skin or in our air or what we're taking in. So and the citrus bliss is a great example of one of the many things that is great to diffuse on a regular basis just to create a really good environment. I was sharing with someone just the other day about how our dentist, which if you're in Orlando, look up Dr. Rosello. She's at University Dental Group, and she's amazing. But she keeps the diffusers in her office. I helped her get set up with some of those because she wanted a way to support people, especially who are having a hard time if they're having some work done. But even just being able to come in and get a cleaning if it's your first time in a couple of years, or if as a kid it's your first time ever, you want a more like gentle, relaxing environment. So things like balance and serenity and adaptive and, the citrus bliss, the elevation, island mint. I mean, there's so many really good ones that can just create a general peaceful environment. And wild orange is another just super easy one. It's cheap, it's like what, $10 a bottle, it's very easy to go with and feel like you're really like, it's noticeable when you guys do this. If you guys have school age kids, you'll probably have noticed how they do a little bit better getting along with each other when you're diffusing something versus when you're not. And topically, we kind of talked a little bit about this, but I do have to just mention here that Motivate is amazing. I do use this kind of on a regular basis. It's one of the emotion support lines, and they do have, they have passion and forgive and console and say that when I love cheer, but Motivate I do really use kind of a lot. I do feel like it kind of helps me increase energy. I joke around that I get 6 extra loads of laundry finished when I'm wearing Motivate versus when I'm not. And adaptive is another really helpful thing, especially in feelings of overwhelm or just kind of anxious feelings or even like negative thoughts. Adaptive can really help us, especially in the situation, right? So that's why, as we talked about before, when we have that coconut oil, a fractionated coconut oil or a carrier oil, that is diluting it. So these are both in the touch forms, right? This is Motivate Touch and Adaptive Touch. That means it's diluted to that ideal level so that it stays in our tissues. And we have mentioning here grapefruit, lime, and tangerine as some of the awesome things to add to our water. I'm going to go ahead and see what you guys put up here too. Yeah, spearmint is another great one. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, Gina says lemon. We have lime, suggestion, and wild orange. Yeah, lime, spearmint, lemon. I'm going to tell you guys a couple extra ones that I keep next to my fridge. Like I actually have like a little caddy out there. And now the peppermint and the cinnamon I keep in the cabinet because my kids have discovered that they can be extra spicy, especially if you accidentally get like 2 drops instead of just one in your glass. But my husband and my older son really like the peppermint in their coffee. Like really, really like it. Crazy like it. Like just this morning, they asked me to come get another peppermint because they were getting low. And so that one's really fantastic, but just a drop at a time. And I really love the cinnamon in my tea. It's really next level. And I'll tell you guys sometime about there's a chai honey recipe that's so amazing that if you like put the essential oils with the honey ahead of time, the chai flavors, and then you like get it stirred around. So then when you're making your tea, just take like 1 scoop of the chai honey and put it in your tea, and it's just awesomeness. And you can do just a little bit of several different oils like the cardamom and cinnamon and what else is in bergamot is in there. I put black pepper in there and turmeric. So fantastic. Anyway, okay, so other things I have next to my fridge, which you guys will probably want to start keeping next to your fridge as well. I have clementine, fennel, spearmint, grapefruit, lime, lemon, wild orange. So those are some that we love, and of course there's more than that you guys can use as well. But those are some really good ones to get started with. And fractionated coconut oil, we wanted to mention this here because when you do have a little bit more fragile skin or very, thin skin, you definitely want to dilute. And so be sure you keep that on hand if you're someone who is in the glory years or is caring for someone in the glory years. But the essential oils really, really do work very well. And I find that a lot of people in the glory years respond very quickly to the essential oils. It's almost like going back to how it is with babies, where you just a little itty bitty bit makes a big improvement. Lifelong vitality supplements, again, we see these here. And of course, the bone nutrient complex combining together with the lifelong vitality supplements are going to be fantastic. The bone nutrient complex, honestly, guys, for its price, you would be surprised how much of the benefit there is in there. It's over 100, it's 100% of the daily recommended amounts of calcium and magnesium. And the fact that it has the D2 and D3 means that all of those minerals and vitamins are going to be able to be utilized well. If you guys have done any research about sometimes historically, some of our cheaper vitamins, they'll give you one synthetically, laboratory produced version of a mineral or something that your body needs. But because it's not in combination with other things, it doesn't actually become very bioavailable to your body. So this is done right, and you guys will find a big, big benefit from it for healthy bone mass and density. Again, it's, school age children who are often, jumping out of trees or things like that may also want to benefit from this as well. But certainly during the glory years, it's going to be great. And let me also share one other really helpful, this one. So a lot of people in their glory years feel like they may be coming into some brain fog, and it may worry them that they are not quite as mentally acute as they were before. So here's a couple ideas about some ways that you can help that. I like the idea of keeping around a roller bottle with this Brain Fog Be Gone blend. You'll notice wild orange, bergamot, rosemary, peppermint, and frankincense are all very, very well respected for helping their mental acuity and just being able to remember things quickly and be with it. It's easy to be able to kind of keep this around and use it as needed when you need people to be like kind of all there. All right. And You can also use it in a diffuser. Sometimes this is even easier for people who, are being cared for. It's just a nice one to kind of pop. Actually, this is really great even just for the office. Like if you're going to go get some real work done, pop in a little bit of rosemary, peppermint, and wild orange, or even lemon. Lemon's also actually pretty good for concentration. So I hope those will be helpful for you guys. Take a screenshot real quick before I go if you want. But that's another, I think, extra supportive. Blend for people in their glory years. And okay, I can't go on without mentioning the Symphony of the Cells. You guys, this is really, really good. Um, you know what though? Let me tell you first because I think I was going to tell you guys about how to get. I think I promised you I was going to show you how to get the lifelong vitality supplements for cheaper. So you guys probably have seen the doTERRA website before, especially if you've watched a couple of these before. And so you know that when we log in, we can choose to change our loyalty order or just create a one-time standard order. Now there's a lot of benefits to doing the loyalty rewards order, which we call the LRP, right? Loyalty rewards program. And the cool thing about that is it's not set for things to arrive at your door that you don't want when you didn't really order them and you feel trapped into something, right? Instead, you get to fully customize. You choose which day it comes, you choose what you want, and there's all these extra perks. Now, this particular month, we have some extra perks, which are the here we go. The October promos, which I'm going to tell you guys about these wellness kits in just a minute. It's 15% off Rose. And of course, that's whether you're using loyalty rewards or not. And it's these 4 items, which equals $75 in value, are free with any PB order. That's whether it's loyalty rewards order or not. If we were in the beginning of the month, we actually had Clove, which I got for free, which is like, I forget, guys, what is it, like a $21 value? I can't remember actually off the top of my head. But anyway, so we get stuff free when we order through the loyalty rewards method. Plus, we also earn points. So you guys can see that me making this order for 209, which I got all the freebies for, which, well, okay, it doesn't show it because the order is already processed. But so I got all those 4 freebies, plus I got the clove essential oil, and I got 62 points that'll jump right up here. Now I actually went and used a bunch of my points. I used over 100 points to get other free things as well. And that happens on this basis. Let me show you this real quick. Anytime you're making an order that's over 1 PV, that's product value, you're going to keep your points. So you want to order like one thing, even if that's just a deodorant or a Correct-X, which is like a, what do you call that, Neosporin kind of thing, or one thing. Even if you're like, I don't really need any oils, like there's things that you'll still want delivered that are super high value. At 50 is where you start earning, instead of only the 10% that we all kind of start off with, you start getting up to 15 and 20 and 25 and 30. So you're going to increase your percentage as long as your order is at least 50 PV. At 100 PV, you can qualify to receive income. And then at 125 is that super special one. That's the one that I always get to without fail because I like free stuff. And so I always place my LRP order between the 1st and 15th. I happen to do the 8th. It sticks in my head really well, so I just do the 8th. And so that makes it so I'm basically getting 55% discount. All of us get our 25% when we have our own account, but we add up to get even more. And those come in the form of points. And so I love that. So yeah, I just used a bunch of my points to get some stuff, but I'll get 62 more points that pop right in here. And then if I feel like I want to, get an extra, a deodorant, my next one, I just pop that over and a little bit comes out from my reward points bank and it appears as free. So that makes it super easy. Okay. And okay, Symphony of the Cells is the last one that I have to do a super fast plug for because I I just recommended this to somebody just this morning, offered to have, they're going through kind of a tricky time. And so I asked them if they'd like to come over and I would do a Symphony of the Cells. Now, if you guys don't really know much about this, you're going to want to pay attention next week. Okay, so next week for week 5, we're doing Symphony of the Cells as like the entire um, like 45-minute lesson. And so I'll give you all the details now, but you can always go to somethingthatsells.com. They do have like a little 5-minute video if you're not really sure what's going on. The basic idea is you're putting a specific series of essential oils on the spine and on the bottoms of the feet of someone when you're assisting them in kind of a deeper, a little bit more serious kind of issue, where it's not just like, oh, I had this like one ache or, on my shoulder or whatever, but when you feel like you have problems with being inflamed in your entire body, or like you just really understand that your cardiovascular system needs some serious support, or that your hormones need some serious support, or that like neurologically you need a little extra support. These are really, really awesome, and I'll tell you more about it, but do take a minute to kind of like glance at this or take a screenshot if you like, because these are very, very useful protocols. But we will find out a little bit more later. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, was there, I forgot to look and see if there was any questions. Go ahead and ask your questions if you guys have some right now. We're going to transition in just a minute. How many bone nutrients should we take a day? I think we do 2 of them, especially if you have like some real concerns. I know Natalia gives them to a couple of her kids who've had either bone breaks or like one has an issue with his hips and he has from birth. And so I think they just get 1. But in fact, she loves the fact that they're capsules instead of those hard pills that are going to stick in the intestinal tract or get flushed through without, being disintegrated. But she loves that she can just open up that capsule to be able to put a little bit of the powder in something, or even have him drink it. She'll dissolve it in water, I think she said. Okay, so yeah, but typically 2 is the best thing to go with that. Saw some food like oils, 3 of them now offered on their website. Don't know how to use them, so I didn't buy them yet. Oh yes, you're right, Gina. Okay, yeah. So I think what you saw is what they had introduced, which will be coming. I think it's November 2nd or 3rd. I can't remember which day. Maybe November 2nd. The holiday items are going to include this really cool set of I think they're called the culinary oils. Is that what it is? I'm kind of blanking out at the moment here. But yeah, they have some that are specifically designed to kind of have a little bit more of like a Mexican flair. Some that have, so it'll have cumin in there and cilantro. I can't remember what else. And then I'll have one that's a little bit more on the Italian side. I think that one might even have some bergamot in it. But of course, it's like the rosemary, the coriander, some of those Italian seasonings. But it's already kind of like mixed. And then they have one that I think is for, oh, what is it? Like islandy? Is it? I can't remember now. But anyway, so yeah, definitely go check those out. The holiday items are coming up, so you guys can take a look at those. The way that those work is, I know the Italian one is already diluted with olive oil, and the Mexican one is diluted with avocado oil. I can't remember what the third one is. I'm kind of blanking on what that one is at the moment, but those are supposed to be very, very easily ready to use. I probably will dilute mine a little bit more because I do a lot with dressings and things like that, but it does have a little bit of, of that other oil in it so that it'll kind of blend a little bit better. Because if you guys have ever tried to just like use like 1 drop oregano thinking you were going to make your like a marinara sauce like awesome, oh, you probably end up burning your tongue, right? And all you can taste in that whole pot of like marinara sauce that you just worked so hard on is only the oregano. It's like there's no tomatoes in it at all. So having it diluted with a little bit of oil helps it kind of spread out and go a little farther. So it's not overwhelming. Okay, so I hope that will help as well. Yeah. Oh, and thank you guys too for mentioning the Motivate has clementine, peppermint, and basil and rosemary, and that one is like another really, really good one. those are the ingredients in there. And of course, actually basil is good to take internally as well in your water. Okay. All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and transition to the next part, which is building a pipeline. Now, this one, this picture, I just adore, right? Because it's I've been planting outside, you guys. I should show you guys pictures of some of the fun little things that my family and I've been planting. It's kind of fun. But the idea here is like starting small and then seeing the benefits of it as we go. And to understand kind of like why we're talking about this, I'm going to tell you guys about the three kinds of people. And we find that there's three kinds of people who kind of come into listening to some of these things. And one of them is someone who just wants to kind of live the wellness lifestyle. They want to support their own health and their family's health by just using the stuff. And doTERRA provides a lot of really great free education and community for people like that. And so that's really awesome. Now, the second kind of person is sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, like my mom needs these oils so bad, or like my neighbor across the street just doesn't even know yet how much she could really be helped by whatever. And so if you're someone who's kind of like naturally sharing anyway, and you just like can't keep your mouth shut about it, well, doTERRA has different benefits for you as well. We kind of call it free natural health care. It's the main idea is that as you kind of share a little bit consistently and support people in using doTERRA themselves, then you basically are going to get your oils paid for free because of the benefits program that doTERRA has going on. And then there's a third kind of person, which is basically someone who's sitting here being like, I want to do what Amanda's doing. I love that she's like putting out these awesome vibes into the world about how to be empowered, right? That was our little code word. And that she's putting effort into supporting people in their health. So and if you're somebody who wants to also get some financial freedom because of making that your focus, then doTERRA has very, very generous ways of supporting you in doing that as well. And really, I mean, for me, it actually is more about making a difference in the world. But anyway, so you can earn income and make an impact depending on if you're 1, 2, or 3 type of people. Okay, so hauling buckets versus building a pipeline. I feel like this is kind of important to kind of understand, especially if you're a 2 or a 3 kind of a person. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story about a woman who was devoted to caring for her family as best she could with what she had, and not afraid of hard work. She would load on buckets onto this like big post that she'd carry across her shoulders, and buckets, and she would go down from her village into the nearest water source, fill up those buckets, and make the trek back. And that's how she made a living, by selling water that she would take from one place to the other. Now, she realized that if she took a day off, or if she didn't feel good, if her shoulders ache or her stick broke, she didn't get paid. And so she had a plan that she would consistently bring only enough buckets to pay for what she needed to do. And any spare time, she would go ahead and start building a pipeline to get water from that water source to the village. Now, over the years, she continued to do this consistently, and eventually she was able to turn on the spigot. And that was the day she found true freedom, because even if she had to care for a sick child or needed to do something else, that spigot was allowing the water to flow freely into that village. And she was able to have like real financial freedom because of that. So the question for you guys is, what are you doing? Are you in a traditional job, which is hauling buckets, trading hours for dollars, or are you building a pipeline, which would offer true residual income and limitless earnings, the freedom to choose your schedule, and the fact that you're building your dreams, doing what you feel like you want to do, what you feel like you need to be contributing to the world. Now, there are so many things that I love about doTERRA. You know, a couple of them are listed here, which I'll go ahead and leave on the screen, but I'm just going to tell you about, like, I think my my top three. I really love that there's some amazing retention rate for doTERRA. Now, a lot of the other companies that we look at who are involved with this kind of method with the multi-level marketing, often you see an average industry rate of 13%. That means after someone gets something from that person, whether it's leggings or a cool bag or stuff to keep your leftover food in or whatever thing it may be, uh, only 13% of them will buy anything from that company again within a year. Now 65% is crazy high for retention for people who will continue to make at least one up to 3 or 12 purchases after they open up their account. So that's huge because that means a lot for our long-term residual income. Another thing that I think is amazing is about these partnerships. If you guys want to cry, go ahead and take a look at the co-impact sourcing things that go on with doTERRA. They have all these amazing initiatives with other countries, third world countries, where they do not compromise about here's my other, my third one, I would say, is the fact that it's the most tested, most trusted, and very well documented reliability of purity in this case. But they don't compromise on that fact, but they also are creating partnerships with growers around the world. And by doing that, we are getting a better product because we're teaching people how to do things the right way. And we're giving them a lot of the larger, just the cooperatives to be able to have the best growing practices in that area without a lot of cost on their shoulders put into it. But we get the benefit because there's a lot of love. When you're paying somebody 8 times the going rate for a product, then they're going to put more effort into making sure it's really, really good. So just on the global scale of how we see our world as a community, I think doTERRA does an amazing job, and I love it. I love it. So what's involved in actually doing something like that? The basic idea is you give people samples. So if you're someone who cares about others and you like to give things away, great. I mean, I caution you against giving away full bottles of things, right? Just do a sample and teach someone how to use that little bit. When they have an amazing experience, you just offer to show them how to use more essential oils and teach them the basics to be able to become empowered. There's that word again, so that they can start to make good choices about their own wellness, right? And assist them in actually making their order the first month or two or whatever. That's when we enroll them. That's how we, help them actually make that order. And then the whole supporting thing afterwards, which is not leaving them stranded with this, box that was too big that they're scared to open because there's all this stuff in it that they don't know how to use. We're going to support them and show them how to get connected with the education that they need and a community that is going to help them as well. Right. So if those things don't sound scary to you, it's going to be a good choice for you to jump on in. Now, unfortunately, this one didn't come out very clear, so you guys can't see like some of the amounts of money. I think it's kind of like not coming in super clear. But basically, if you're looking at income, and this is all, you guys can find this on the website. They have like the official documents of that goes income disclosure, whatever is, so somewhere around silver level, you're looking at, actually, I can't read what it says. I think does it say 2,900? I can't read that one. So at gold level, you're looking at about 4,600 a month. And of course, it goes way, way up from there until you're talking about 6 digits on a monthly basis for presidential diamond. That's someone who's really involved with supporting their leaders who are doing, similar kinds of activities. So, but you get to choose if you just want your product paid for, or if you want to supplement or replace your income. Okay, so here's a little question about what does residual income mean to you? I'm going to ask for a testimony. Who would like to talk?
I'll say something.
Thanks, Melissa. Go ahead.
So, I had a pretty slow start, I guess, in sharing doTERRA. I really enjoyed using the oils, but I really didn't. I didn't really care to share too much. I was more about just like giving them away to people I thought would need them. And so, we're what, 3, I guess, actually 4 years into using doTERRA, and I finally have reached elite at least a couple times now, and been able to enjoy some of the benefits coming off of that. Of you know uh, when they run promotions, sometimes there's a little bit more where I have an entire month of oils that are paid for, and where it's not coming out of our budget, which is really, really nice, to get that little bit of kickback on top of being able to still use the oils for the family, and being able to replace a lot of the stuff that we had typically been using for, like, toothpaste and shampoos and deodorants, and been able to throw away a lot of the medications and things that were over the counter we had been using previously for things like allergies on a daily basis, and the little cuts and bruises and things that the kids always end up with, pretty much daily. So I've just been really, really excited and encouraged by that. And even though I'm not proficient, shall we say, at getting people to sign up, or I just have more fun sharing the oils and giving people samples and kind of encouraging in that direction. But have still seen a lot of the benefits, even though it's taken a long time. But um, just of having so many people on board now and being a part of that community, have that, I guess, consistent, even if I'm getting just half, 75%. I think I'm about up to, on a consistent basis, of having about 75% of my oils paid for. And you know, that's really nice to be able to do that and still feel like I can share.
And Melissa, you have several large life events that are going on right now that I imagine are also taking you away from being, consistently sharing with others, right? So, how many kiddos do you have?
Yes, we have 5 kiddos. So the oldest will be 18 in about 2 weeks, and the youngest is not quite 1.5.
That's a big stretch
Um,
for in terms of getting people places and caring for them and stuff like that. And you're also doing a big home project as well, right?
yes, right now we are finishing our renovations, sort of, but it's been a long process before we switch homes. So right now we really have 2 that we are caring for.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this takes a lot
So
of time.
so even though you're not able to devote as much time to specifically talking to people about doTERRA or helping them with their health or wellness, you're still receiving the income, every month to be able to pay for your oils, and well, at least most of the order, if not all of it, right?
Hmm.
That's
Yep.
kind of a cool little perk. Very cool.
And that is nice.
Awesome, awesome. All right, thanks for sharing. I do appreciate being able to have like another voice to kind of talk about it, because sometimes I know people probably hear me and they're like, oh well, she's just she's been in it for so many years. Of course, she's making money at it, whatever. But it's nice to hear that people go at different speeds, and depending on where you're coming from, what it means to you to be able to have that coming in and being a support when you're not even able to focus on it. So,
Hmm.
okay, cool. All right, let me go ahead and share again. So in general, if you're wanting to know how much time is involved, about 3 to 5 hours a week pays for your product, or even less, depending on where you're at in that process. To supplement your income, probably 10 to 15 hours a week, and to replace your income, you're going to want to consider more like the 15 to 30 hours per week. And if you're curious about if this could work for you, there's 3 questions that I think are most useful to ask yourself. Are you passionate about oils? If you're not, this probably isn't for you. We probably like if you don't really already love doTERRA or aren't super open or love over the top what you've already heard about it, um, this will not be a money making venture for you, because that's just not how it works with this particular kind of system where you're supporting people. And the second question, do you care about people? Now, if you care more about money, or if you care more about like getting rich quick or something like that, again, I don't suggest you become part of my team, and don't ask me to mentor you, because the way that I do this is very much from a servant heart, and that's the culture that we promote, within our smaller doTERRA team, as well as doTERRA, as far as being a just a larger community of just wellness focused, natural based solutions kind of thing. And of course, the last question is about, are you able to follow a system and get things done? So if you yeah, if you don't have a lot of motivation, or you're just involved with other things and it's not the right time, that's okay. But if you're someone who's able to kind of like um, you know take coaching advice, and be open to other people, giving their thoughts, but also having it be like your own style of how you want to do things, then you'll do very well in doTERRA. So definitely continue talking with us. In fact, what would you do? So what is the next step? All right, depending on what kind of person you are, let us know if you're a 2 or a 3, if you want to share or build with doTERRA. Typically, the next step is just to attend the Business Made Easy presentation. I can send you what that looks like in a video format, or we can get together on the phone to talk about residual income and the compensation plans. You can kind of get an idea about what's involved in that. And there is also another option of just getting connected by signing up for the daily mentor calls all on your own, and starting to listen to those. Those are also very interesting. I've listened to them probably 2 times at least, throughout the past year or so. So last little bit is just this idea that suddenly you just know that it's time to start something new and trust the magic of new beginnings. Often when we're starting something new, it does seem a little um, overwhelming. Like you might feel butterflies in your stomach about it. And of course, there's the whole thing of like, is it really possible that I could, um, do this during COVID and all this kind of stuff? There's a lot of people with uncertainty. But the really interesting thing about this is doTERRA is actually doing better this year, compared to all the amazing growth. And you guys saw some of that information about how doTERRA is growing on a very consistent basis, pretty much matching the growth level of how Apple has done, being a very reliable, steady kind of a thing. And doTERRA is definitely corresponding with recessions. doTERRA starts doing really well, because people recognize this isn't just leggings or cool kitchen products or cool nail thingy-majigs, right? This is about serious health and wellness, and that impacts everybody's life. So if you're somebody who cares about that, let's talk more. All right, darling friends, we have reached the end, and so I'm just going to give you a little extra love as we leave. And I'm probably heading to the beach today. I hope you guys have something fun going on. I know if you guys are not in the Orlando area, you're probably thinking like, what? It's October. Shouldn't you be like chilled up in a cozy sweater and like have your hot mug? Not here. It's sunshiny. So I'll be looking forward to doing that. And I will see you guys next week for session 5. And I hope to see you guys looking healthy and vibrant then as well. Bye, guys. Yeah, on to lesson plans. See you guys. Bye.